In this video, we're going to talk about why the question how is literally ruining your life. So, we are going to talk about how the how is the domain of infinite intelligence. Focusing on the how is counter creative, the true focus, how entrepreneurs and high achievers get stuck on the how, the universal pattern across all examples, and the breakthrough question. Now, let's talk about how the how is the domain of infinite intelligence. Now, the moment you release your desire to the quantum field, you activate a force beyond your comprehension. Your finite mind, constrained by past experience and linear thinking, cannot possibly conceive the infinite pathways available for your manifestation to arrive. So, your conscious brain can only recombine what it already knows. It looks backward at patterns, not forward at possibilities. When you demand to know the how, you are asking your limited processor to map infinite terrain. So, setting your intention is like programming a destination into GPS. You don't need to know every turn, every traffic, every construction zone, or every detour before you begin. You trust the system to guide you step by step. The universe operates the same way. It recalculates constantly based on real time conditions that you can't see with your naked eye. So, surrender means releasing the ego's desperate need to control everything independently. The ego believes it must do everything alone. But infinite intelligence within you, the part connected to source, God, or the quantum field, however may you call it, it operates beyond the third dimensional limitations. It can orchestrate synchronicities, coincidences, and chance encounters that your ego could never engineer. The universe assembles your manifestation through seemingly unconnected events. A random conversation leads to an introduction. An unexpected cancellation creates an opening. A mistake redirects you to exactly where you need to be. These are not accidents, they are the universe working through channels your conscious mind would never have considered. So you must develop unwavering faith that the realization of your desire will emerge, or something even better aligned with your highest good. Sometimes what arrives differs from your specific request because infinite intelligence sees a broader picture. What you think you want might be a limited version of what's actually available to you. So once you have set your clear intention, your only job is to maintain the frequency of already having it. So the moment you have a desire, all you need to do is maintain the frequency of already having it, constantly checking for progress, obsessing over timelines, and micromanaging the process signal distrust, and distrust blocks reception. So by setting clear intention, you have programmed your inner guidance system. You can then sit back and relax, trusting that the destination will be reached without you having to constantly micromanage the course correction. You don't have to do it. Now let's talk about the spiritual act of surrendering, right? The spiritual act of surrender means relinquishing the ego, the part of the brain focused on trying to do everything by itself and allowing the infinite God within you to alter your reality. So the infinite power within you exists beyond the illusions of the third dimension. It can bend reality in ways your linear mind cannot even comprehend. Now, the universe orchestrates the path, often in unpredictable and seemingly unconnected ways, ensuring that everything works out perfectly for you. So, what appears as chaos or delay from your limited perspective is actually divine timing and perfect orchestration from the perspective of infinite intelligence or God or quantum field, however you may call it. Right? Now, let's talk about why focusing on the how is actually counter creative. Now, the focus on how is fundamentally counterproductive because it stems from a misunderstanding of the true mechanics of reality creation, which adhere to the law of cause and effect. The physical plane, where action or the how takes place, is merely a plane of effect. Attempting to change your reality, which is the effect, by concentrating on physical action alone, which is also an effect, does not work. You can't change an effect with an effect, right? Your external reality is a mirror reflection of your internal state. Attempting to change your reflection by manipulating the mirror itself is futile. You don't rearrange the image in the mirror and expect your face to change. You change your face and then the mirror will automatically follow it. Physical action exists in the material world. The world of results, it is not the origin. Action is an effect of consciousness. When you try to force outcomes through action alone, without first shifting your internal frequency, you are trying to use one effect to change another effect, which will never work, right? So the true cause of your reality is your mental plane, encompassing a frequency, state of consciousness, and self-concept. So your frequency is getting encompassed by the mental plane. So your mental plane, which is your frequency or your state of consciousness or your beliefs, assumptions, and self-concept, however you may call it, it is the true cause. Everything external flows from this internal source code. So to alter the effect, which is your physical reality, you must first change the cause, which is your internal state. That is the only leverage point that actually works. So stop trying to change your circumstances. Start changing your consciousness. The circumstances will follow automatically, right? So trying to control how the outcome will occur is referred to as going Newtonian, which relies on linear, predictable thinking based on past experience. Now, Newtonian thinking says, based on my current resources, experiences, and circumstances, here are the logical steps to my goal. Now, this approach traps you in known outcomes because you are calculating from what already exists. Now, your brain uses historical data to predict the future. When you rely on how, you are asking your brain to show you a path using only the information from your past, which means you will keep creating variations of what you have already experienced in physical reality. So, this approach limits possibility and keeps you trapped in known outcomes, preventing the new and unexpected from manifesting. So, if you could see the how from your current position, it wouldn't be a true expansion. It would be just a reorganization of what already have, right? So, the desire to know the how often implies wanting or needing the result, which is an energetic affirmation of lack or separation between you and your goal. When you desperately want to see the path, you are operating from the belief that you have separated yourself from your goal. Wanting implies I don't have it. Needing to know implies I don't trust that it is coming my way. So your emotional state broadcasts a frequency. The universe doesn't respond to your words or to your visualizations, it responds to your energetic signature, which can be also called as your vibration, and your vibration gets turned into a frequency, right? So if your signature is anxiety, doubt, and desperate needing to know, you are magnetizing more anxiety, more uncertainty, not manifestation. So this energy of desire blocks reception from the universe. Every time you ask, but how will this happen? You are reinforcing the belief that it hasn't happened yet. You are treating it as future and distant rather than the present and certain, right? Now let's talk about the true focus, which is internal alignment. Now manifestation is an internal shift. It is simply internally shifting yourself to shape your external reality, right? So when you are good with it and good without it, it will manifest effortlessly. Not you are not showing indifference over here, but genuine fulfillment from within, regardless of external proof. So the moment you need nothing from your desire, it manifests. The moment you are complete with it, it arrives. This seems backward because you have been taught that desire drives manifestation, but attachment and desperation repel your desires. Completion attracts your desires, right? So your external reality is always trying to match your internal frequency. When your frequency is lack, you attract experiences of lack, and when your frequency is fulfillment, more fulfillment flows to you effortlessly. So whatever that is within, it will be created without, right? So you need to cut out the middleman. The sole reason you desire anything, it can be money, relationships, promotions, jobs, it can be anything. It is to experience a certain emotional state, a frequency that you currently lack. So you don't actually want money, you want the security, freedom, and peace you believe money provides. You don't want the relationship, you want the love, validation, and connection you believe it offers. You don't want the promotion, you want the respect, confidence, and significance you think it delivers. Right? So you can bypass the physical object, which is the middleman, and jump straight to occupying that feeling right now, thereby generating the current frequency. So when you cultivate security within yourself, abundant opportunities appear. When you embody love for yourself, loving relationships magnetize to you. When you claim your significance now, recognition will follow. So waiting for external proof to give you permission to feel a certain way keeps you locked in delay. Claiming the feeling now collapses time. So you need to be it before the world proves it to you. You must enter the frequency of already having your desired reality before the external world gives you proof that you already have it. So your destination must be your starting point. You don't move towards your desire, you move from it. You operate from the assumption that it is already done, already yours, already real. So once you feel and think from the position of attainment, the lack of clarity on the how ceases to matter as you are convinced it is already done. If it is already done, why would you need to know the how? Right? So the world will never give you proof before you start believing. Belief must come first. The external world is a lagging indicator, which means it reflects back who you were being days, weeks, or months ago. So if you wait for proof before believing, you will wait forever. So when you genuinely feel as though your desire is fulfilled, you emit the frequency that attracts matching circumstances. Your nervous system cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and an actual reality. So when you feel it real, your biology responds as if it is true. Your nervous system responds as if your imagination is true. So once your frequency is aligned with your desires, the appropriate actions are spontaneously revealed to you through intuition and mental nudges. So the framework here is frequency first, action later, not the reverse, right? Most people try to act their way into new frequency, but effortless and inspired action only comes from aligned frequency. Your frequency must be aligned to the desire, right? So once your internal state matches your desire, you will receive the mental nudges, gut feelings, sudden ideas, and synchronistic opportunities. These are your marching orders from the quantum field or infinite intelligence or your inner teaching or guidance from the divine, right? Or you can simply say it as your intuition. So the absence of clarity should not stop you. It should never stop you because that guidance will emerge as you need it one step at a time. Now remember, you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the next step. So inspired action feels light, exciting, and natural. Forced action feels heavy, obligatory, and draining, right? So if you are forcing yourself because you think you should or because you are desperate, you are out of your alignment. You are out of alignment. Return. So what do you need to do? You need to return to your frequency first. Make sure the frequency is directly aligned with your desire and make sure you already have it vibrationally. So let's take a few examples, right? Let's talk about how entrepreneurs and high achievers get stuck on the how. So let's take a few examples. So Alex runs a coaching business generating $30,000 per month. He has skills, clients who love his work, and a proven offer, but he's stuck. He wants to scale to $100,000 per month, but can't see the path from here to there, right? So he thinks, how will I get enough clients to triple my revenue? How will I find the time to serve that many people? How will I build a funnel that converts consistently? How will I stand out in a saturated How will I stand out in a saturated market? How will I maintain the quality while scaling? Right? So Alex spends months studying funnels, taking marketing courses, analyzing competitor strategies, and tweaking his website. He attends webinars on how to scale, reads case studies, and consumes content obsessively. But his revenue stays flat. He is trying to think his way to $100,000 per month using a $30,000 per month mindset, right? So he is attempting to solve a $100,000 per month problem with a $13,000 per month identity. Can you see where the problem is? So Alex is operating from a frequency of a $30,000 per month coach trying to figure out how to make $100,000 per month. So his self-concept, his identity is I am capable at this level, but that next level requires things that I don't know how to do yet. That is his self-concept. Now this frequency attracts more complexity, more confusion, and more reasons on why scaling is hard. He is energetically confirming that $100,000 per month is distant and uncertain. So the real issue here is a $100,000 per month entrepreneur doesn't see $100,000 per month as complicated. They see it as natural, right? They have already collapsed that reality in their mind. They operate from the assumption that this level of income is what they do naturally, not something they are trying to figure out, right? So Alex doesn't need another course or another strategy. He needs to embody the $100,000 per month coach energy right now. He needs to walk, talk, think, and decide from that identity before the revenue reflects it. The moment he stops asking, how do I get there, and starts operating from, I am already here, the gap closes, right? So by staying attached to needing the roadmap, Alex remains trapped at $30,000 per month for years. Opportunities pass him by, his confidence erodes, competitors with less skill but more conviction surpass him, and he lives with quiet regret of knowing that he played small. Now let's talk about another example, right? Let's talk about Sarah running financial models, researching competitors, and mapping out contingencies for scenarios that may never occur. She attends conferences, consumes content, and networks obsessively but never launches. Meanwhile, her competitors release imperfect MVPs, which are minimum viable products, gather real customer feedback, and iterate rapidly and capture the market share. They don't have all the answers, but they discover them through action, right? So Sarah here is operating from the frequency aspiring entrepreneur seeking permission. Her identity is stuck in preparing to be ready someday, right? She is addicted to the safety of planning because launching means facing uncertainty, and uncertainty terrifies her ego. So what's the real issue over here? Sarah doesn't need more information. She needs a new identity. If she internally shifted to I am a founder solving this problem now and started operating from that frequency, the path would illuminate itself. Collaborators would appear, resources would materialize, investors would take notice, right? So if Sarah shifted to the frequency of a founder who has already solved the problem, she would launch imperfectly, learn from real data, and trust that solutions would emerge as she needed. She would embrace the uncertainty as part of the creative process rather than seeing it as disqualification, right? So by demanding to know the how before starting, Sarah sacrifices years of potential growth, learning, and impact. Her idea becomes outdated, reinforcing her identity as someone who doesn't actually execute, right? And she remains trapped in some day rather than taking action in the now because her self-concept is not aligned with her desires. And I have given two more examples in this document below. You can check it out. If you want this document, then join my free community, link in the description. But I will just move past it because I want to get into the crux of this video. So the universal pattern across all examples. So every high achiever in these scenarios makes the same fundamental mistake. They are trying to figure out the path from the current frequency rather than shifting frequency and letting the path reveal itself. They are getting stuck in Newtonian thinking. They are stuck in going Newtonian, which is believing success follows predictable and linear steps based on what worked before. They operate from I need to know how before I believe it's possible. They are caught in the have do be trap, which is I will become that person once I have that proof. They believe that I must control every variable to feel safe, which is a sort of ego attachment, right? They think that uncertainty means they are not ready, which is fear masquerading as prudence, right? So this creates a self-reinforcing loop that keeps them exactly where they are, right? They wait for evidence before shifting identity, but evidence only comes after identity shifts, right? It's a sort of like a paradox. They try to act their way into the new frequency, but aligned action only flows from the right frequency, right? They seek external permission before claiming their new self, but the world only grants permission after you already claimed it internally. So the outcome is always the same: stagnation disguised as strategic planning, right? Years pass, the goal remains distant, and the gap widens. Confidence erodes, self trust diminishes, and resentment builds. Eventually, they look back and they realize they were not blocked by circumstances, but they were blocked by their unwillingness to become someone new without proof. So, let's talk about the breakthrough question. Now, the question that keeps you stuck is, how will I get there from here? Why is this question wrong? Because this question assumes you must remain who you currently are and somehow bridge the gap through strategy and effort alone, right? This question forces your brain to calculate using only the resources, knowledge, and patterns available to your current identity, right? It keeps you in the have do be model, which is once I have the answer, I will do the things and then I will become that person, which is that is not how manifestation works, right? So the right question over here is, who do I need to become such that that is already here, right? Who do I need to become such that that particular desire that I want is already here? This question inverts the entire paradigm. It puts identity first, action second, and results third. It collapses time by eliminating the gap between your current and future self, right? It aligns you with the frequency of already having what you desire, which is the only frequency that can magnetize it, right? So when you stop asking for the roadmap and start embodying the destination, the universe rearranges itself to match your frequency. So the how emerges spontaneously through intuition, synchronicity, unexpected encounters, and opportunities that you couldn't have engineered consciously, right? You need to let the universe do its work. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step from the frequency of someone who's already at the top. So the external world will provide evidence only after you have provided internal conviction, never before, right? If you don't have conviction, then the universe will not provide the steps that you need to take. So the truth over here is, you are not waiting for permission from reality. Reality is the one that is waiting for direction from you. So the moment you decide who you are without needing proof, without demanding a roadmap, without requiring external validation, everything shifts, right? You become the signal, and the universe has no choice but to respond with matching circumstances. So this is the ultimate power, the power to choose your identity regardless of current conditions and trust that reality will bend to reflect it, right? So that's it from me. If you want this entire document, then check out my free community down in the description, and there I have free courses as well that you can access and you can use to manifest your desires. And that's it. Yeah, I will see you in another video. Peace.